Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, American energy independence, that's what we're talking about. In 2007-2008, I served under the previous administration, Department of Interior, MMS, OCS 5-year planning subcommittee, which dealt with oil and natural gas leases on the Outer Continental Shelf and talked about the next 5-year plan and where those leases would be. And I was amazed during that process that how convoluted it really was, because we were very limited on what we could talk about. We were limited to a certain grid section in the western GOM and one small spot off the coast of Alaska, and they were both in ultra-deep water. In 2005, I went out, probably 2006, I went out to Louisiana. And it was post-Katrina, and we flew out to a deep water production platform and a deep water drilling platform. The platform I went to was the Devil's Tower. It was a spar platform floating in 5,600 feet of water. We also went to a drilling platform, which was a pontoon drilling platform for natural gas about 4 miles away, and so I've seen it for myself. And Congressman Landry has been very clear about the impact of the de facto moratorium on the Gulf Coast states. The fact that it's not just the energy companies, the petroleum companies that are drilling. It's a trickle-down effect all the way to the smallest welder. It's a trickle-down effect to the states that are hit by this recession, that are losing the royalty revenues. That's a double whammy to an already impacted economy that was impacted not only by the spill, which was unfortunate, but my understanding from talking with folks is that the companies that do exploration and drilling have met every requirement of this administration that was put out there in order to get back to work, in order for the permits to be issued. But yet, to this day, we only see that 2 permits have been issued. The American people want to see us deal with American energy independence. They understand it's a national security issue. Let me be clear. I'm for all resources that we have in this country to meet our energy needs. I'm very pro-nuclear energy. I'm pro on drilling, OCS, and here on the mainland. We've had, thanks to the direction of our chairman, we've had the head of BLM in the committee, and we've talked about the Wildlands Act and the fact that Secretary Salazar signed a secretarial order in December to basically accelerate the designation of wilderness areas, basically usurping the power of this Congress, which has the only statutory authority to designate wilderness areas, usurping that authority. So now we're seeing that federal lands are being taken off the table for energy exploration and energy production to meet our energy needs in this country. I think that's abysmal. This administration spoke just recently about, and I applaud them for this, about the necessity of increasing domestic production. But actions speak louder than words. So I ask this administration to accelerate the permitting process. Let's get the people back in the Gulf of Mexico that have leases. Let's extend the current leases that are expiring, because those folks stepped up the plate and they bought the rights to explore for energy sources and produce energy sources on those leases. Having been on that 5-year planning subcommittee, I know the process that it takes to recommend to the OCS committee the next 5-year plan of where those leases should be. It's a long process. And if we started today, we're 5, 6, 7 years out for the next lease sale. And so we've got leases expiring, and we don't have another lease sale. In fact, I don't know when that's going to happen. ANWR should be back on the table, Mr. Chairman. It is the size of the great state that I come from, and that's South Carolina. But if we talk about the impacted area in ANWR, we're talking about a size about the size of the Columbia Airport in Columbia, South Carolina, or maybe the size of the city of Charleston. If I stuck a postage stamp on that wall, that's what we're talking about. Folks, it's time for us to be serious about energy production, meeting the needs of this country with American resources for American energy production. That's deep water, that's onshore, that's offshore. Fracking, hydraulic fracturing. James Langford from Oklahoma mentioned yesterday that they've been fracking in Oklahoma for 50 years with not an incident. He said, come drink our water. Come drink our water. We're proud of it. We've got the ability to do that, Mr. Chairman. Let's not remove this federal land from access for exploration. See what's out there, and then we can produce it. You know, Georgetown, I saw a sign, $4.69 a gallon. I think that's probably the highest in the nation, but still it's alarming, $4.69. $3.85 is alarming. I know what $4.85 a gallon diesel fuel meant to my small business in 2008. And I know what the rising cost of fuel means to large and small businesses in this country, and it's time for us to be serious for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.